Hello, YouTube. This is Christopher Bridges um, for doing another YouTube video here today, talking about securing Linux and Windows servers with AppArmor and HTTPS. Just going over the hardships and everything like that here today. But if you like the video, please leave a like, a comment, and everything like that, and we'll get started. Thank you. All right, so guys, we're going over the overview um, of the security measures of the PowerPoint here today, um, talking about AppArmor on Linux, HTTPS on Linux, the Apache's Tomcat, and the Windows IIS, and then the hardening recommendations to end it off for the PowerPoint. So those are all the key points that we're going to go over here today. Before we get into all that, we first got to understand what we're talking about by understanding AppArmor. So what is AppArmor? AppArmor is a secured module for the Linux kernel that uses mandatory access control to restrict how many applications interact with the system. It enhances security by confining applications and limiting their access to system resources like files, network devices, etc. How does it work? Well, the profiles, it defines what systems resources a application can access. These mods, like enforce mods or complain mod or different other kind of mods, but these two in specific, the AppArmor enforces the policy for enforce mod, and then also the AppArmor logs policy violations but does not enforce them for complain mod. The benefits of AppArmor will be that the gradual control over applications behavior is a really great one for this one. Um, the simpler the than the SE Linux, managing the security is a good one as well. And then reducing the impact of the application vulnerabilities by restricting access to sensitive resources is also a good one as well. One way to check the AppArmor status would be to use this code right here, the sudo, and then also to list the number of profiles and show which profiles are enforced or complain mod, you would also use this code as well. So be able to check the status, see if it's working and everything like that, you want to use this code right here. All right, so one of the hardening recommendations for AppArmor will be to enable the AppArmor enforce mode by using this code right here. This always works. Um, This always works by enforcing the mode for AppArmor. You always want to review and update profiles regularly. Um, this periodically review after updates or new installations is very, very important because you always want to check on the system and everything like that. Make sure that the updates are going through and then also reviewing the updates and everything like that, making sure everything is correct. Also, and lastly, audit and mandatory logs. By enabling the logging for the violations, you want to use this code right here. And then also, by monitoring it, you also want to use this code as well. It's very important to monitor the logs and audit them just to make sure everything is going correct and working, as well as updating them, reviewing them, all the whole 9 yards. So this is one of the codes that's super important to monitor the logs. Now, to understand HTTPS, we need to talk about it. HTTPS is a hypertext transfer protocol secure. The purpose of it is to encrypt data from secure communications. It uses SSL and TLS. Um, by using these, they use data encryption and server authentication, and then also to insecure counterpart of HTTP, um, which is the counterpart of HTTPS. the HTTP has no encryption, vulnerability to encryption, and then the HTTP uses port 80. HTTPS uses port 443. So it's its counterpart to HTTPS. Now going over the differences between HTTPS and HTTP. There's a lot of differences and that we need to talk about and the verses between them. So the hypertext transfer protocol, like I said on the slide before this one, it uses port 80 by default. One of the securities is no encryption. Like I said on the last slide, the data is sent in plain text. This makes HTTP vulnerable to the man in the middle attacks, where attackers can intercept and modify data. Authentication. It doesn't use authenticate the server, meaning a malicious website can impersonate a Ligament 1. The usage of it primarily used for non-sensitive content like public website, blogs, or informational pages. Now, on the other hand, HTTPS hypertext transfer protocol secure. They use port 443. They're encrypted, so the communication uses SSL TLS, and this ensures that the data is in unreadable to anyone intercepting it. The authentication, it uses the SSL and the TLS certificates, like I said before, to authenticate the service, ensuring that the users are connected to the genuine website. The data is integrated to ensure, meaning data cannot be altered without detection during transmission. The usage, the essential for sensitive transactions such as online banking, e-commerce, or login pages where security is crucial, is also a big thing when it comes to HTTPS. The key differences between them from both of these would be that the encryption port and then the trust between them. The encryption um, encrypts the data between client and server, preventing evap's dropping, and then HTTP transmits data in plain text. The ports, port 80, and the difference between them is port 80 and the use of port 443, ensuring secure communication for sensitive activities, and then the trust between them, establish trust through uh, certificates providing authentication of the website's identity. Now, why is HTTPS important? Well, it's important because it protects users' privacy by ensuring that sensitive data like login, uh, credentials, or payment information remains secure. And then the search engines like Google rank uh, HTTPS sites higher in search results and in the trust between them. Like the modern browsers flag HTTPS websites as non-secure, which can deter users from interacting with your site. Now, the harder recommendations for HTTPS will be to use strong the SSL and TSL configurations by disabling outdated protocols. Um, you want to use the Apache configurations like the codes that you see on the screen here. And then also you want to enable the HTTPS strict transmit secure, also known as HSTS. The configuration for this would be that the headers always set strict transport security by using this code right here. And then also to obtain and properly configure the SSL TSL certificates. This also uses certificates for trusted CA and it avoids self-signed certificates for production. Configuring HTTPS on Apache is another slide that we need to talk about. You install this, you install Apache and open SSL by using this code that you see on the screen. Um, to enable the SSL module, you would use both these codes that you see on the screen. Sudo at emod, and then the SSL sudo this code, but also using the default SSL, and then the follow-up code as well. And then you want to use generate self-signed certificate. In order to do this, you want to use this code as you want to use this code as you see on the screen right here. Now to configure the SSL in Apache, always edit default and use this code right here, SSL configuration, to include certificate paths. And to restart the Apache, I always use this code right here to restart the Apache. Now, configuring HTTPS on ISS, also known as Windows, you want to first start off by installing the IIS web server. To do that, you would use the install Windows feature, name the web server, and then include management tools. Also, the next step would be to obtain the SSL certificate. You would do this by using a form of a trusted CA or generate self-signed certificate. Next step would be to configure the SSL and ISS, also known as Windows, by opening Windows Manager, select your site, and then bind SSL to port 443, and then redirect HTTP to HTTPS. Use the ISS URL to rewrite or HTTP redirect module. As we reach the end of the YouTube video, we definitely need to go over the summary of all the slides that we talked about here today. Starting off with AppArmor. As I explained at the beginning of the PowerPoint, AppArmor is to enhance security by confining application behavior. It uses enforce mode. Regularly audit profile logs is also a big point in this PowerPoint as well. And then HTTPS, this secures data transmissions with SSL and TLS. It enforces strong configurations, and it also obtains trusted SSL certificates and uses HSTS. The server configurations like Apache and ISS, also known as Windows. Apache uses enable SSL to generate certificates and configure HTTPS, and then the Windows binds SSL certificates and redirects HTTP traffic. So that'll be all the information that I have today on all the information talking about AppArmor and HTTPS. If you liked the video, please leave a like and a comment down below, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.